nutrition is so important when feeding out cattle. So don't forget about the mineral. You'll see the benefits in their health and their weight gain. Hi, I'm Christine and welcome to the Squeaky Wheel Farm. Today I'd like to share with you how we built a mineral feeder. Now we did originally go online to see what was available, and the feeders ranged from $200 to $400, which was in our price range. But upon reading the reviews, we noticed that a lot of them tended to tip or flip over. If you've had cattle before, you know that they are pretty rough on the equipment. So not only did we not want to spend $200 or $400 on something that they were going to destroy pretty quickly, but mineral is really expensive. $30 to $40 a bag, sometimes more, depending on which brand you're buying. You don't want to waste any of it. So we came across this idea of how to build a mineral feeder, and it's pretty indestructible. I've read some of the reviews online from old farmers that have used this type of device, and they swear by it. And after building it ourselves and seeing how difficult it is to tip over, well, that sold me, and I knew right away that I had to share this with you. And not only that, we didn't spend $200 or $400. We spent $26.10 to build this feeder. Now the barrel was $15. We bought that off of Marketplace. You can probably find some free if you're watching. And I think the hardware was like $10, and the tire was free. So come along with me and let me show you how we got this done. A plastic 55-gallon barrel is 24 inches across. You'll want a blue or a black food-grade barrel. The tire we picked up for free was from a tire shop. You'll need a semi-tire, one that has an interior diameter of 24.5 inches. The tire will have a 24.5 on the sidewall. Now don't forget to clean out your barrel. We have enlisted some helpers here, because they're the true experts at anything that has to do with water and being outside. And so we figured this would be a good job for them. It just took some clean water and a little bit of energy. We started by drilling some holes in the sidewall of the tire for drainage. The piece of wood that you see in this is not going to be in part of the project. It's just so that we can see the highest part of the sidewall, so that we can make sure that we get the holes in the right place, so that the rain will drain properly. We're also adding an eye bolt because we want to be able to move this mineral feeder from pasture to pasture. If you're leaving yours in one place, you don't need to add this part. And here he's drilling a hole so that he can attach this eye bolt. If you're not going to use that, then just skip forward to the part where he's drilling holes into the barrel. And here he's just adding a washer and a nut to hold that eye bolt in place. And now he's just going to set the barrel inside the tire so that he can take some measurements. You want to make sure that when you're drilling your holes in the barrel, that the carriage bolts that you install are going to end up being inside the tire. So he's making some marks so that he'll know that he needs to drill holes below those marks, so that again the carriage bolts end up being on the interior of the tires. The purpose of the carriage bolts is to hold that barrel in place so that wherever it goes, the tire goes with it and the cows can't flip it over. So when you're drilling your holes and installing the bolts, you're going to do them lower on the barrel, and it's going to be opposite sides. So there's going to go 4 bolts into this barrel. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't really matter as far as where they are, but that's going to allow this barrel to slide around inside the tire without it tipping over.
So this is the top of the tire right here. So I'm going to come down about 2 inches, so right about 7 is my mark where I'm going to put my bolts, and that'll keep it from tilting.
Another thing I wanted to mention is on the top of your barrel, usually next to these bung holes, are what's called weep holes. They drill a hole so that the rain can drain out. So you want your cattle hole access to be either on this side or the opposite side, and not directly under those weep holes, because the rain will get inside to where your mineral is going to be. And now he needs to make an 18-inch hole in the side of the barrel. The radius will be 9 inches, so what he's going to do is put a set screw in the middle and then use a 9-inch piece of string to draw his circle. That'll make it much easier for him to use the Sawzall and open up that circle without making any mistakes. The bottom of the hole is going to be just an inch or two above the sidewall of the tire so that rainwater doesn't drain to inside the barrel. And now he's drilling just 1 or 2 pilot holes so that he can get his Sawzall blade inside.
Using a hasp. So I have 4 pieces. I have my carriage bolt, I have a fender washer, which is a little bit bigger. When I put it in, that square part will actually get covered up by that. Put one on in the back just because it's more distance and not as easy to reach.
We have here is these bolts are going to be screwed in. They fill the gap inside the tire, and that'll allow the barrel to spin but not rock too much.
So I can push on this and it'll lift the tire. The thing I thought was neat was I get to this point here and it comes back this way as opposed to actually flipping over because all the weight's on the bottom. So I can any which way and it's pretty solid. And then the opening is plenty big enough for their head to get in there.
So even when the cows push it over and play with it in roughhouse like they will, it still didn't tip over. It takes a lot to actually flip this on its end. And even when they do flip it over, chances are you're not going to lose all of your mineral. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for watching. Oh, and one more thing. I hope to see you again soon. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and got value from it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and watch this next.